Good morning and welcome back to the Red Mic. Hope everybody's doing okay today. These Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons I've picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Today's Red Mic message: staying on task, keeping on task, uh, little switches, little tricks of your routine you can do to, like I said, keep you on task, improve your efficiency. Uh, as you've heard me mention that, I've got the ping pong ball brain, ADHD. Little techniques like this can be really helpful if you have trouble uh, focusing, keeping your time. Break it down into manageable steps. You know, when I coached, you live by your routines. But because I coached kids, I also knew that I could never do one thing for a long, long time. When I was in high school, you've heard me mention Joe Bob Tyler a million times. Well, Coach Tyler, you know, he didn't care how long it took. You know, we would spend we'd spend 45 minutes to an hour to an hour and a half, and maybe might run four or five plays the whole time because he over and over and over. We're going to keep doing it until we get it right, and once we get it right, we're going to keep doing it until we get it 100% perfect. Again, the whole perfect practice makes perfect attitude. And that's all well and good, but there were always players, not me, because, I wasn't starting for a good chunk of the season. I started exactly one game. I think I've mentioned that. Um, then got hurt and barely sniffed the field the rest of the year. Um, there were some players that type of technique, that type of repetitiveness, it just didn't work well. And you could see it. There were some players that were just like, all right, well, let's just buckle down and do it. But perhaps breaking it up into more manageable time chunks would have been more effective. But who might argue? We made it to the quarterfinals, so he obviously knew a lot of what he was doing. But back to me, when I was coaching kids, I broke it up into small chunks because I knew if I went too long, they're going to be playing in the dirt or grab tailing around with each other, and then you send them on laps, and then the whole day is wrecked. So here are three things that you can do in the workplace for your own personal improvement of time management and getting things done. One is called the Pomodoro technique. It was named by a guy who created this technique based on a kitchen timer that looked like a Pomodoro tomato. And what he would do, once he figured out what task he wanted to get done, he would set a timer for 25 minutes. Pomodoro. Then he would work on that task until the timer went off. And then he would take a 5-minute break. And then he would repeat that same task. He called it a Pomodoro, each one of those little sections. He would repeat those tasks until he completed 4 Pomodoros. So that's roughly 100 minutes. Well, actually, more like 120 minutes because 30, 25, 5, 25, 5. And then he would take a longer break, 15 to 30 minutes. Completely, clear your mind and the rest will follow. Yes. Um, and then he would start over. But by breaking it up into those small chunks, he didn't get overwhelmed. He didn't, it's the old adage, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Well, that's the Pomodoro technique. There's also the 3-3-3 method. Um, Devote 3 hours to very deep, concentrated work on your most important task. Then do 3 other urgent but shorter tasks and then do 3 maintenance tasks. If you were thinking about it in terms of the Eisenhower, you got the urgent, important, urgent, not important. Well, then this would be the the maintenance tasks are still things that got to get done, but they're really things that can be kicked. You can kick the can down the road. Maintenance tasks, paperwork, timesheets, stuff like that. And then the one that I like, and I use a combination, frankly, of the Pomodoro and the 2-minute rule. Figure out all of your tasks, estimate, and a real estimate. Don't do a, Mr. Scott from Star Trek kind of estimate by padding your time. If it's going to take a half hour, be honest with yourself, it's going to take a half hour. But the 2-minute rule, figure out how long each of your tasks is going to take. If it's going to take less than 2 minutes, do it right now. Get it done. Check that, knock that off your checklist. And like I said, I use a combination of both the Pomodoro and the 2-minute. And if it's going to take longer than that, use the Pomodoro technique. But if it's going to take 2 minutes, knock them out quick. Particularly earlier in the day when you've got a lot of energy, just boom, 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 boom. And then that can help set the tone for the rest of your day. That's what I do. Anyway, for what it's worth, I hope that you're able to maybe incorporate these three into your life somehow. And if not, go back to the Eisenhower. Make yourself that 4-way grid and figure out, okay, this goes here, this goes here. And that's today's Red Mike message. I hope you found this interesting. I really do hope you found it interesting. I hope you found it helpful, more importantly. I hope that you'll be back again tomorrow. I appreciate you being here. Someone asked me the question yesterday, why do you do this every day? I had to think about it a minute, and I said, well, if I'm going to do it, I need to be disciplined about it. Sort of taking a nod from Scott Adams, the Dilbert guy. He does a live podcast every day, but his is long form. He does usually anywhere from 50 minutes to an hour and a half. Generally, they're all around an hour, hour and 10 minutes, give or take. But he does them every day, not just Monday through Friday. I mean, Sunday, Saturday, Monday, all the entire week, every day. And he doesn't have a script. It's all very, he's got points that he wants to talk about, but it's also very unstructured. He'll be talking along this, oh yeah, and that reminds me of this, and he'll go off into a little segue. Excuse me. Mine are not solidly scripted. I've got little points that I like to make. I have little touchstones you'll see me glancing over. But I do it every day because I think if you're going to do something, you need to be disciplined about it, and you need to be consistent, and that way people can expect it. Hopefully make it part of their routine. So that's why I do it, for what it's worth. I appreciate you being here. Hope you'll come back tomorrow. Give me a like, a follow, and a share. And don't forget, life is short. Drink the bourbon.